coat in. Okay. So, this little fucking coal out. Doohickey says 56 degrees. That seems a little optimistic. Bike says it's 113 right now. That won't take very long to drop. I think it's only like 40 degrees out. But check it out, making a basic rundown of the carb swap here, making sure everything works fine. Figured I'd do a little bit of riding, make sure my speedometer's accurate since I put the trail tach on. I wanted to have a tach. So far it's pretty close. I could probably tweak it a little bit, get it right, but between the speedometer and the GPS I have on my phone, it's within a mile an hour and I'm okay with that. I think the factory speedometer was within a mile an hour, so that's not horrible. I'm good with that. So far I'm liking it. I did drive it a couple of blocks to try and get it warmed up, but apparently it doesn't want to warm up when it's 40 fucking degrees outside. I'm also testing out my Cena Bluetooth in the helmet, and I've been just playing music on it. I don't know, I think I keep bumping the button and it keeps asking me for commands and shit, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to move it. Maybe I'm bumping it with my shoulder. But the volume keeps changing on me too. I don't know if that's part of the same thing, because it is on the same button. It's a big knob on the side really, and I think I'm hitting it, causing it to want to connect with another Bluetooth user, which I don't have. There goes volume up. What the fuck? I didn't even move my head. Might have to troubleshoot that a little bit. There it goes again. At that time I didn't move my head, so that might be it. Loving this carb, dude. I tell you what. If you have a DRZ and you do not have the FCR on your bike, you are missing out. It is responsive as a motherfucker. I almost contemplated selling the DRZ because Husky came out with their new Enduros, street legal, which are basically the KTMs. They did a few minor changes to them, obviously, because it's they're supposed to be the premium brand of the two bikes. But and god damn it, it's driving me nuts already. So I did contemplate selling the DRZ and not putting any money into it. Just damn it, 5-speed. And buying a Husqvarna and putting a Supermoto setup on that. But I was kind of talked out of it by my buddies, both of which have KTMs. One has the 350 in full Supermoto trim. The other one has the 500 in Supermoto trim. I've ridden both of them with the Enduro tires on them, and the fuel injection is really nice. It adapts obviously to whatever. A lot better than a carburetor is going to. But I had not ridden them in street or Supermoto trim, and they were talking me into waiting until spring so I could ride their bikes, kind of get a feel for them, see if I would like to ride either of them as, you know, my main bike that I would like to have fun on. But while I am an impatient person, I like to tinker with shit all the time. And I got a decent tax return, so I decided, you know what, why not? I'll put the FCR carb on the DRZ. I also changed the rear sprocket. Went from the, I believe it's a 42 is the factory one, the factory rear sprocket. So I believe it's a 1540. And the stock S gearing with the knobby tires on them is a 1544. I think I went with the 44 in the rear. So basically I have stock S gearing on my Supermoto. A little more bottom end. I don't ride a lot of highway, so that's going to be fine. Just cruising along at 40 right now. It's perfect. I mean, 4,000, 4,300 RPM. That is in fifth. Damn, this thing won't warm up. 81 degrees. That's it. My hands aren't too bad. I figured they'd be worse. I put my liner in my jacket. That is helping a lot. I've never ridden with the liner in my jacket. I normally don't ride when it's this cold. I don't ride when there's snow on the ground. But they said it was supposed to be nice out, so I figured why not go for a ride, shake down the bike, hopefully there's no problems with it. Got my phone. Fiance's at home, just in case I have to call her, tell her bring me the truck so I can load this thing up. But so far so good. It hasn't overheated, which I was worried maybe I might have an air pocket in the cooling system. I had to change out some hoses. But the cooling system seems to be working just fine. It hasn't warmed up at all. Unless I'm stopped and not moving. So, but overall what I all did this winter on the bike, the main thing is the carb. A lot of the other stuff is just appearance stuff. I changed the colors up a little bit. I did change out the clutch lever. If you have a DRZ or even a bike that has a cable style clutch on it, and you find it kind of hard to pull, I mean, my definition of hard to pull and somebody else's might be different. I have a pretty strong grip, but even the stock lever on this DRZ was kind of, you know, I thought almost maybe it might be the cable sticking, but it's everything's lubed and it moves, so it shouldn't be the cable. So everybody, I had come across some things on the forums and online, and people were saying a good thing about the RSC levers, which I was like, you know, I should probably, you know, take a look at them. You know, they have a bearing option in the pivot, so that's supposed to make it better. I don't know if the angle of pull is different too to help with the ease of, I don't know what you would kind of call that, kind of like torque pull, you know, the amount of torque that you're force you have to apply in order to get the lever to do what you want. I'm not sure if that pivot is different at all, but it might be, and that I'm sure would help quite a bit. But anyway, I went with, they have 3 options. They have a full length, which is, I believe, a 3-finger setup. They have a I think they call it a normal or mid, which is a 2-finger setup. And they have the short, which is supposed to be a 1-finger setup, mostly for stunt bikes, you know, something where you're just kicking it with your finger. And I bought the 2-finger setup. I figured that would be perfect for my riding style. I usually use 2 fingers. And with the factory lever, even though I cut it, it would rub on my 3rd finger over. Got really annoying and my fingers started to hurt, even though there's pads in my gloves. On the knuckles, it was just getting annoying. So the 2-finger setup, I did that for last year, and it was nice. The pivot, the pull was easy. I can't complain about it at all. The only thing I had a problem with again was it was rubbing on my 3rd finger. So if I was trying to clutch it, which I'm not very good at that yet either. I'll get into that at a different time. But trying to clutch it, it would pinch up against my finger, or if I tried to do just 1 finger on it to say clutch it, I would run into my other finger and it would not pull it in enough to slip the clutch out. So again, I decided, you know, maybe I'd look into getting the short lever. So I spent some time hemming and hawing about getting the short lever. And I'll let the idle go down. I might have to figure that out. But it's also cold, so it could be just that. So I hem and hawed, and I did end up getting the short lever. And I was afraid that the short lever wasn't going to be easy enough to pull with 1 finger. What the fuck? I hate these stupid lights. Yep, fuck it, been here long enough. Won't change. Bike's too light. So I ordered it. Now mind you, I didn't get, on either of my levers, I did not get the bearing option. They have a bushing option. It is a, I believe, a Delrin bushing. It's supposed to be less maintenance. I mean, you still have to oil it just to keep the friction low, but there's less maintenance obviously than the bearing. They do, I believe, on the new levers have a new bearing option. I believe it's a bigger bearing. I think it has sealed bearings in it, in which case less maintenance on those as well. But I just wanted to stick with the bushing because I had it on my other one and it was fine. The pull is still awesome. what I was afraid about the short lever is just as easy to pull as the other one. And now I don't have the problem I ran into before where it hits my other finger pulling the clutch in. I can just one finger the clutch and it's good to go. Still getting used to the way I have this adjusted. Part of the feel I might be having is the chain. I might not have adjusted that completely entirely properly, but kind of eyeballed it when I had the wheels off. So that's pretty much about it. Like I said, the rest of the stuff I did was more appearance. I did the trail tech because I wanted the tach. Let's see. That's pretty much about it. Carb, tach, sprocket. You know, probably all basic things that every DRZ should have. I do highly recommend the RSC levers. It's righteous stunt metal. I really recommend those for any cable. I mean, if you have a cable clutch, it's perfect. I mean, they're a little pricey, but they're also backed up with a lifetime guarantee. If for any reason they break or fail, I believe you just take pictures of it and you send them in to him, and they figure it out, and he will replace for free, from what I understand. And I find that to be a huge benefit. I mean, I've got fucking goddamn shit. I've got the bar guards on here, which I need to replace with something a little better quality. But regardless, they should protect the lever in a down. But still, if it does break for any reason, it's covered, which is awesome. So, alright, I'm freezing. I'm sure I've talked enough. Just gonna enjoy my ride for a little while longer yet. Oh, this road's a little bumpy. And hope you liked the video. Hope I gave some decent information about the bike. I mean, I'm sure most of you people with DRZs already know pretty much everything that I covered. But those of you that don't know much about the DRZ or just coming into it or something like that, just got one, maybe that's some useful information. So, alright, I'm out.